If you've watched enough of my videos, you know that tri-tip is my favorite cut of beef to cook. And it's been a while since I've done one. So today I'm going to be firing up the Weber Kettle and making a pepper garlic tri-tip with toasted almond chimichurri sauce. All right, a couple things to get done before we get to the tri-tips. First, we gotta get our rub ready. And this is a pepper garlic rub, so as you guess, it's heavy on pepper, heavy on garlic. We're gonna start with 2 tablespoons of a coarsely ground black pepper. Next comes 1.5 tablespoons of granulated garlic, 1 tablespoon of paprika, and next is something a little different. Now, you may not have one of these ingredients, and if you don't, no problem. Just go ahead and use 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. But I'm splitting that in half. I'm gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, and I'm gonna be using 1/2 teaspoon of a smoky sea salt. I got this from Fresh Jack's. I bought that a while back. It's really nice, does add a smoky flavor. And since I'm not gonna be really smoking this tri-tip today, I'm gonna be just grilling it. I wanted to get just a little bit of smoky flavor in here, and this should do it. And again, if you don't have a smoked salt of any kind, just use 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. Let's go ahead and give this a stir. Get our lid on. Give it a shake. That's what I'm looking for. Let's move on to making our toasted almond chimichurri sauce. So for this recipe, I'm using 2 tablespoons of toasted almonds. You can toast your own, but I just purchased these. These were pre-toasted. You can see though they're pretty large pieces, so I want to break these down. Now I could use my mortar and pestle, but you know what? It's just as easy to use a Ziploc bag and a rolling pin or something else to kind of bang on them. Let's toss them in there. I like to zip it up, but not all the way. You want some of the air to come out. I'm just going to take a rolling pin and start breaking these down. You can pound them if you need to. And that's good. I don't need this to be a powder. I'm going to go ahead and dump these toasted almond pieces into a bowl. To this, I'm going to add a teaspoon of dried oregano, 1/2 teaspoon of a coarsely ground black pepper, a teaspoon of a coarse salt. Now you could use a very coarse kosher salt. I'm going to be using sort of a flaky sea salt. I'm also going to add 2 small red chili peppers from my garden that I've diced up. These are Fresno chilies. Really, you can add anything you want. You could even just use red pepper flakes to taste to give it as much heat as you want. I'm also going to add 1/2 cup of chopped flat leaf parsley, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, and 1/2 cup of olive oil. This is an extra virgin olive oil that I'm using. Now I'm just going to mix this together with a whisk. Can already smell those herbs and everything coming off this. And now if you're stopping yourself and saying, wait a minute, there's no garlic in there. You're right, I forgot. So now we're going to add 3 tablespoons of minced garlic. Now we've got a chimichurri going here. Let's just get a quick little early taste of this. Ooh, those toasted almonds are a nice touch to this. All right, I'm going to cover this. I'm going to set it aside, and we are going to rub up our tri-tip. So here is the tri-tip. It's about a 3-pound USDA choice, pre-trimmed. There's a few pieces of silver skin on there, but I'm not worried about that. They're just little ones. I don't want to get in here and start hacking away at it. I've got it on my baking sheet to make containing the rub a little bit easier. And there's a lot of moisture still on the surface here, so I don't need to use a binder. So let's go ahead and get this rubbed up. I'm going to get a very generous coating of this on our tri-tip. Get the edges. This one just has that really quintessential tri-tip shape. Sometimes you'll see tri-tips that are a little bit stubbier. This one is very long. I'm actually going to be doing 2 tri-tips out on the Weber Kettle today. The other one's for something else, but this is the one that's getting the pepper garlic rub. So you'll see 2 tri-tips out there, but this is the only one that counts today. I mean, the other one's not for dog food or anything. I'm making it for someone else, but we're going to keep our eye on this one. A little bit more on this side. Again, I want a nice coating of this pepper garlic rub. All right, that looks good to me. Let's go outside, fire up the Weber Kettle, and get this tri-tip on. All right, I have the Weber Kettle going with the Vortex. Let's go ahead and get this tri-tip on. It's gonna be a little tight fit with both of these. We'll make it work. I'm gonna get my internal temperature probe in. We're gonna get that second tri-tip on here. Now I'm going to be cooking this using my 110 sear method. I'll put a link to that up in the corner and down in the video description. Basically, we're taking this tri-tip to 110 internal, and then we're going to sear it, and then we're going to finish it in direct to 130 degrees. My bottom vents are set at about 2/3 open, and the top vents are going to be 2/3 open also. The kettle temperature I'm shooting for is somewhere between 250 and 275. So let's get our lid on and get grilling. I'll adjust the vents if I need to stay in that target temperature range, and I'll bring you back when it's time to sear this tri-tip. All right, we are right at about 110 internal. It is time to sear this tri-tip. Looking good. I'm temporarily going to remove the temperature probe. Let's get this one seared first. We're just going for a little bit of color on the outside. Let's get to our main event tri-tip. That pepper garlic rub is looking really good on this. Give it a turn. This is a long one. Fitting it over the Vortex is a challenge. Let's check our other side real quick again. Oh, looking good. Tri-tip is one of those cuts you're really not going to develop a super deep bark on it because it cooks so quickly. All right, let's move that back in direct and let this finish up. Let's get our temperature probe back in. We're going to get about the same spot. Showing 122, we got less than 10 degrees to go. Let's get the lid on and let this finish up. Bring you back when we hit that magic number of 130. All right, we are at 130 degrees internal with the kettle temperatures up closer to 300. With all that oxygen that dumped in there when we did our sear, that's common. So let's go ahead and confirm temperature with the thermopen. Everybody's looking good. Yeah, now this is showing, if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that, 133. This is just a little bit away from where the probe is, so that's good. Gonna get these off, get them inside, loosely tent them with foil, let them rest for about 25 minutes, then we're going to slice in. All right, our pepper garlic tri-tip is done. It's been resting for about 25 minutes. Now, the cook time, I looked at my notes on this, it was 55 minutes. So under an hour. Usually this is going to be about 45 minutes to an hour for this size tri-tip, cooking it at those temperatures on the kettle, shooting for my method, the 110 sear method. Once you hit that 110 and you sear it, it really doesn't have that much longer once you put it in direct. It was really only on there for another 10 minutes or so. And if you want it at a different temperature to finish, that's perfect. You can take it longer, a little less. This is how I like it just about every time I cook it. Sometimes if someone wants it a little more well done, I'll take it to 135, maybe 140. I really don't like to go beyond that for tri-tip. I know some people have cooked tri-tip like a brisket, and I may try that at some time too, but I don't know, I just like it when it's at this 130 temperature, that sort of medium rare-ish. So let's see how we did. And I always say tri-tip has that twisty sort of grain. You're gonna see it goes here and then it twists up here. So I generally just cut it straight across the middle for the first cut. Let's see. Oh yeah. That's what I want to see, that nice pink interior there. Let's go ahead and get some more slices. these are looking good. And on tri-tip, just like any sort of roast, the further you get towards the ends, it's gonna be a little more well done, which is perfect for people who might want it more well done. So if you cook that center to where you want it or to where the person who wants the least cooked wants it, it's gonna get progressively more cooked as you go to the ends. This is looking terrific. Let's plate some of this up and get our chimichurri sauce on it. There it is, our pepper garlic tri-tip with toasted almond chimichurri. This may be one of the prettiest tri-tips I've ever made. And looking at it, I know it's time to taste. All right, so I'm just gonna take one of these slices here from the center, and I'm gonna cut into that. Oh, I know it's so pretty and I'm messing it up here, but we have got a juice-a-lanch with the chimichurri. So double extra juicy. All right, I'm gonna go for a piece without the chimichurri on it first. I wanna get a taste of that pepper garlic rub. I've made something similar like this before, but I don't think I exactly used it on a tri-tip, so let's see. You get pepper, you get garlic, but one of the things that hits you first is the tenderness of the tri-tip. That's really one of the reasons I like cooking it to this 130-degree range. I've found after doing hundreds of tri-tips, for me, that's right about where the perfect tenderness is. Oh, now some with the toasted almond chimichurri. Let's see. I love chimichurri, but the addition of those toasted almonds takes it somewhere extra special. Have a little bit of crunch to it, but you do also get that almond flavor melding in there with the rest of the wonderful flavors in a chimichurri. This is fantastic. Oh, that toasted almond chimichurri would be awesome on just about any cut of beef. I'm not sure how it would be on pork. Chicken, I can see it being good, but it really matches well with beef. I will definitely make this again. So yes, I did another tri-tip, my favorite cut of beef to do, but I took it somewhere different today with this toasted almond chimichurri, and I gotta say, between the tri-tip and the toasted almond chimichurri, I'm thinking the toasted almond chimichurri is the star today. That is a killer sauce.